Hey everyone, and welcome to today's 20-minute upper body focus pre-lift Kinstretch class. So this is gonna address everything we need to go into a heavy strength training day for the upper body. So we're gonna start with joint cars in the neck, the shoulder, the scapula, the elbow, the wrist, and the spine. So everything from the waist up, that way we're prepped. Then we're gonna go into some shoulder PAILs and RAILs of internal and external rotation and finish with some shoulder swimmers. So we're gonna start by standing tall. We're gonna create full body tension or irradiation. So we start by making two fists. We swell the forearms, roll the shoulders back, core is engaged, glute is squeezed, quads and hamstrings, calves, toes are spread, and we're gripping the ground. Now we're gonna practice going from 0 up to 100% effort, and then we're gonna use that scale. So we're standing tall, let's meet me at 50%. So 50%, you feel the tension through the forearms, you feel the tension in the shoulder blades, you can still move side to side, you're fluid, but engaged. I feel my abs working, everything, okay? Now we're gonna turn it up to 60%, just slowly dialing it up. 70%, a little more. 80%, you're starting to feel hot in the forearms. The core is really turning on and firing. You feel heat building in the abdomen and the glutes. 90% and max effort. Give me as much as you can here, like you're trying to crush an egg in your palms. Squeeze those glutes, squeeze that core. 5, 4, a little more, 3, 2, and turn it down. Awesome. We're gonna use that scale today. So for our joint cars, we're gonna do it at about 60%, okay? So the whole body will be at 60%, and then the effort you can put in the joint in focus is up to 60%, so we want it to meet. Okay, I'm here, I'm gonna start in the neck, chin comes down to chest. I'm gonna scrape the chin along the collarbone. I look over that right shoulder. You'll hit a spot where you can't rotate anymore, keeping that chin down. From there, you're gonna drop the ear behind that right shoulder. You're gonna look up at the ceiling, pull the head high as you look at the ceiling, rotate over to the opposite shoulder, that left side. Chin comes down to the collarbone and we scrape along. We're gonna do 3 in that direction. Scraping along to the right side, hit that locking point, tilt the head back, looking up to the ceiling like you're chasing a rainbow over to the other shoulder, left side. Chin comes down to collarbone and we scrape. One more here, the biggest range we can. When you think you've maxed it out, squeeze a little bit more. Drop the head back, looking at the ceiling. Chin comes to left shoulder and we scrape. Good, now we know what we're doing. We're heading to the left side. Remember, 60% through the body. Squeezing that left side, dropping the ear behind the shoulder, pulling the head tall, rotating over to that right side. Chin comes down the shoulder and we scrape along the collarbone. That's 1, 2 more, getting as much range as we can. When I'm doing these, I like to think about a dirty dish towel or a sponge. I'm trying to wring out all the dirty water I can, or the gunk in the joints, clearing it out, making way for new fresh fluid, the synovial fluid. Last rep here. Circling around, and we finish. Good, now we're gonna go into shoulder blades. So I'm gonna stand on the side so you can see my shoulders moving. My hands come down by my side. So find the seam on the side of your pant and try and keep your fingers on the seam. So it can move up and down, but I don't want the arms rotating around the leg too much. Okay, find the seam. I'm gonna push my shoulders down and forward like, wow, bad posture. Then we're gonna go shoulders up and forward like you're wearing the shoulders as earrings, up and back, squeeze the shoulder blades back, and then down and back, pinch them down and back. That's 1, we're gonna do 3 in each direction. Down and forward, up and forward, up and back, down and back. 1 more, down and forward, up and forward, up and back, down and back, and now we reverse. So it's down and back first, up and back, up and forward, down and forward. Now we're gonna smooth out, taking it through, and notice how I'm not getting any movement through the rest of the body. That's what the irradiation is for. So everything's tight, and we're moving just those shoulders. Perfect. Now we're gonna go into shoulders next. So for shoulders, we're gonna start with the palm facing forward, about 60% again through the body. So we're trying to get as much rotation in the arm as possible. So bring your arm out like this, rotate the thumb out away from you, that's external, okay? So we're focusing there, then we're gonna squeeze the arm in as much as we can without rotating the body. Again, that irradiation is gonna block us. Then we come overhead, the palm faces behind us. We rotate the palm as much as we can the opposite direction. Now the palm's facing away from us. We squeeze the arm back. Top of the hand keeps rotating. It comes right by the leg. So notice my palm is facing away. Now I'm gonna go up and back. I hit a locking point here. I rotate the palm like I have a service tray. I'm holding a bunch of food. Now I pull the bicep up by the ear, palm faces behind me, and I come down and across. Good, that's one. Two more. Get that rotation, come up and across, palm faces behind me. I rotate that arm in the shoulder socket, palm faces away now. Keep pushing back. Now I keep rotating my arm till the top of the hand comes by the leg, up and back. External rotation, service tray, bicep by the ear, and then down and across. We have one more. Up and across, palm faces behind us, rotate, keep rotating, top of the hand comes by the leg. Up and back, hit your locking point, external rotation, service tray, bicep by the ear, and then down and across. All right, now we're gonna do the other arm. I'll give you a side view for this one just so you get a different take on it. So external rotation, the thumb rotates away. We come up and across, core is engaged, palm faces behind us. Good, we're trying to get, excuse me, as much flexion as we can here, which is up and back here. And then we go internal rotation, the palm faces away now or towards you. Squeeze back behind us. Notice how I'm trying to get that arm as far back as I can without rotating. Top of the hand comes by the leg. Now we go up and back. We hit the locking point. External rotation, service tray. Bicep by the ear. Down and across. That's one. Two more. Core is engaged. Squeeze the glutes. Come up and across. Palm faces back. Big rotation. Wring out the joint as much as you can get. Now keep rotating all the way down. Palm by the hand, or top of the hand by the leg. Up and back. External rotation, service tray. Bicep by the ear. Down and across. We have one more. Try turning it up to 70%. Just go up a little bit more on the irradiation and push a little bit harder on this working arm. Palm faces behind us. We rotate. Palm faces away from us. Keep rotating. Top of the hand by the leg. Up and back. Hit your locking point. Service tray. Bicep by the ear and down and across. Perfect. Now we're going to go into the elbows. So for the elbows, roll the shoulders back. Pin the shoulder blades together. So I'm squeezing back. Okay. Now pull your elbows down by your side. This is going to help lock in just the movement of the elbow. So a lot of people think of the elbow as a hinging joint, which it does do, just like this. But it also has an element of pronation and supination, or rotation, right? So we can go like this. So I want you to try, we're just going to take a nice and slow hinge, but as we take the hinge, we're going to rotate through it. Now, it's going to be tempting to want to go really fast. But the goal is we're trying to get as much juice, that dirty water, out of the sponge as possible. So we're gonna go slow and we're gonna push. 70% irradiation, we're turning it up a bit. Squeeze the shoulder blades back, elbows by our side. We're gonna rotate into pronation and then supination. And we're gonna go through nice and slow as we open the elbows up into extension. Good. You're gonna feel at the bottom here, it's gonna be really tempting to let those shoulders roll forward. Don't let them. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Then we're gonna work our way up. We're gonna do 3 of these. So when we're doing elbow cars, we can do them in 2 ways. So we can do them how we're doing them like I'm teaching you. We're moving through our hinge, or you can pick one position, so I'll go supination, and do 1 whole open and close, and then go pronation, 1 whole open and close. Neither is right or wrong. You can do whichever feels best to you, so maybe try 1 of each. Now we're gonna move on to the wrist. So for the wrist, I like to do 1 at a time, just because they're really challenging. So I'm gonna drop onto 1 knee, I'm gonna open my palm. Now, I like to grab my forearm so I know that it's not rotating. I grab the forearm, I pull the wrist, or pull the palm up towards my face. But notice how I'm not cupping my hand, I'm keeping it nice and open. That thumb is really gonna wanna cup, don't let it. Okay, I'm open, I'm gonna come out to towards the midline inside. Good, pulling into extension, over into external, and then into flexion. We're gonna do 3 in each direction. Now, don't get hung up on how small the circle is, just focus on the quality here. Good, and after 3, we're gonna reverse, keeping that palm open. Oh yeah, those burn. It's crazy. I always am surprised by the lack of range of the wrist, where a lot of times the elbow will do a lot of the rotation and not the wrist. Okay, let's go ahead and switch. We trap the palm, or trap the forearm. Palm is open. We pull the palm up towards the face. We head into the inside, pulling through that extension over to that external and then into flexion. That's one. Good, trying to carve. Think if you have a pencil on the tip of your finger, you're trying to carve the biggest circle possible without letting that forearm do the movement. After 3, go ahead and reverse. Palm is open. 1. Nice and slow, pulling into that end range. It's easy on the wrists to want to skip little pockets of movement, so slow it down. Focus. And 1 more. Perfect. And now we're gonna go into the back. So for the back, we're gonna do this one standing and we're gonna cross our arms. We're gonna bring our legs nice and wide. So this is about how wide I'm doing it. And I'm gonna show you from the side. So the pelvis is gonna be the driver of the movement through the spine. So as I'm here, I'm gonna cross my arms. I'm gonna start by tucking my pelvis. So think like I'm trying to hide my butt, okay? So I'm tucking it underneath me, I'm squeezing. Now from here, I'm gonna start rounding forward. So I'm gonna pull the rib cage down to the waistband, and then I'm gonna try and hollow out the rib cage, and I'm looking down. So that's flexion, okay? Now I'm gonna untuck the pelvis. So I'm gonna go from hidden butt to Instagram butt. Boom, look at that growth. And then we're gonna flare the rib cage up, heart to ceiling, and now I'm in extension. I'm gonna tuck the pelvis, round down, hide the butt into flexion, squeezing the abs, and then I'm gonna untuck Instagram butt, flare the rib cage, open up. Good. We're gonna do 1 more. We tuck, rib cage down, hollow out the chest. Awesome. Now notice how I'm not hinging. So I'm not way down here. I'm keeping the shoulders pretty much directly over the pelvis. And then I'm just changing my orientation of the spine, but shoulders and hips stay on top of each other. Perfect. Now we're gonna add rotation. We're only gonna do 1 to each side here. So I'm gonna cross my arms. I'm gonna tuck my pelvis like we practice. I'm gonna collapse the abdomen and then push into the rib cage for flexion. Now I'm gonna rotate over to the right. This is gonna move just like the neck. It's an extension of the neck. I'm gonna drop the shoulder. I'm gonna untuck the butt, Instagram booty, lift the heart to the ceiling. So we're in that same position now, just with rotation. I'm gonna head over to the other side. I'm gonna go tuck the butt, round the spine, unwind. We're gonna work the other way now. Rotate to the left, drop the shoulder, untuck the butt, arch the back, rotate to the other side, tuck, and unrotate. Perfect. Now we're gonna go into shoulder rotation, PAILs and RAILs. So I'm gonna come onto all fours. Now this one, you can use a yoga block. So you could put a yoga block under your elbow right here if it's more comfortable. I don't need it, so I'm not gonna use it, but if you would like one or you want a little padding, you can do that. So I'm in tabletop position. I'm right here just like this. So I'm gonna keep control of this shoulder. I don't wanna let it hike up too far, and I don't wanna let it drop down super low. I'm just keeping it neutral. And then I'm gonna take this working hand, or this non-working hand, and I'm gonna push my arm into as much internal rotation as I can tolerate. Okay, now from here, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna stretch for a moment, create some space. PAILs is gonna be pushing in to my hand. So this is gonna be my block. I'm gonna block off, and then I'm gonna drive into my hand. So think about all this stuff that's getting stretched right now. You can feel that. You're gonna try and take that stretched stuff, and you're gonna try and shorten it. Now, because there's a block, it's gonna be an isometric. It's gonna be non-moving. That's okay. We're gonna start with 20 seconds of pushing. So meet me at 60%. So we talked about those percentages before. Meet me at 60%, and then we're gonna start to drive. 20, 19, 18. Keep driving, and I'm gonna talk. So with this block of the hand, you can push a little bit deeper into that position as you're driving 60%. 10, 9, 8. Now, while you're here, we're gonna head straight into a max effort for 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and turn it up. 70%, 80%, 90%, and max effort for 10. Start driving. All you're trying to do is shorten this tissue. The hand is stopping at 8, 7, harder, give me more, 5, 4. Now when I say 1, we're gonna try and pull deeper into the rotation, which is gonna go off the hand and try and lengthen that tissue more, pulling into rotation. 3, 2, and 1. Rails, squeeze into that internal rotation. Get as much as you can. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. And open up. Now we're gonna do the other arm. So now you guys know what we're doing. We're gonna be able to do it a little bit quicker. So we'll go 20 seconds of that PAILs at 60%, straight into max effort of PAILs for 10, and then we're gonna go into rails, which is deeper into the stretch. So I'm on my elbow, I take my non-working hand, I push into that internal rotation, okay? Now from here, we're doing 20 seconds of PAILs. Start to push into this non-working hand, the block. Start driving. So you're feeling that stretch tissue, and you're gonna try and chase it backwards and make it short again. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Again, 60%, that's the core. That's splitting the knees against the ground. I'm trying to rip the ground apart with my knees as I'm doing this PAILs. 8, 7, 6, 5. Start turning it up here. 70%, 80%, 90%, and max effort, hard as you can do it for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Get ready for rails. We're gonna squeeze deeper into this internal rotation, and rails, pulling off the block, squeezing down towards the knees. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Cool. Now we're gonna go into external rotation, okay? So for external rotation, we're gonna take the same position, and now we're just gonna work it the opposite direction. So I'm gonna bring that elbow here, and I'm gonna push my arm out as far as I can. Now, if you had a dumbbell or a broom or a stick, that would be a great use for a tool. So what I could do is I could take this dumbbell here, and I can push myself into that external rotation. And you know what? I'm probably just gonna use this because it's easy. Again, a stick, a yoga block, all great uses. A stick, you would just hold the broom and push it this way, okay? So here we go, and we're gonna go 20 seconds of the 60% into max effort, just like we did on the internal rotation, all right? I'm in position, I find my end range. Now, when I'm here, I'm now feeling a stretch wrapping around the shoulder this way. So I'm gonna try and chase it back and pull from the outside to the inside. So PAILs, I'm pushing into the dumbbell, trying to head back into internal rotation. Because I have it blocked out, obviously I'm not gonna go anywhere, okay? Here we go. Start to drive. 20, 19, 18, we're at 60%, 17, 16, 15. You should feel a burning on the back side of the shoulder. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Start turning it up, turning it up, turning it up. 70%, 80%, 90, and max effort. Give it to me for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. You're gonna start thinking about rails. You're gonna try and pull off the block further into external rotation. You can see me shaking there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest. And we are gonna go the other direction now, our other arm in external. So I'm on all fours, elbow down right underneath the shoulder. I'm gonna push into my end range of external, and I'm gonna create that block. Okay, here we go. Starting to drive in at 20. So 60%, 20 seconds. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Start turning it up, 70, 80%, 90%, and max effort. Give it to me here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Squeeze off of that block. Squeeze, squeeze. 8, 7, 6. Feeling a burning in the lat underneath the armpit, back of shoulder. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Drop it down. All right. Now, we're gonna finish the session with some shoulder swimmers. So this is gonna be like doing cars with both shoulders at once. Okay, so we're gonna start by bringing our hands behind our head here, and I'll stand up for this. So hands behind our head, just like this. My rib cage is down, my pelvis is tucked, and my butt squeezed. Now from here, I'm gonna pull my hands off my head. Then I'm gonna punch them straight up overhead. Now the palms face forward. I'm gonna rotate the palms to face away from me or each other. Now I'm gonna squeeze the arms back behind me, keep rotating. Pinky edge side of the hands come behind the back. I'm gonna hinge and get the hands as high up the back as possible without leaning forward. We're gonna do 3 of these. Now we lift off the back, we punch back, big circle like I'm doing a butterfly swim in a pool. I've actually never done a butterfly stroke, but I have the idea. Hinge at the elbow, right behind the head, and land. Take a breath. Build tension, 70 to 80% here through the core. Squeeze, rails pull off the head, punch up, palms face forward, palms face away from each other, squeeze back behind us, nice and slow. Get the top of the hands as high up the back as you can. Lift off, punch back. Big circle around, palms face back behind us now, and hinge on the head. Last one, take a breath. Build tension, 80 to 90% now, max almost. Lifting off the back of the head, punching straight up, palms face forward, palms face away, squeeze back behind us. Top of the hands come on the back, lifting off, circling around and behind the head, and take a breath. Awesome, y'all. That is our pre-lift warm-up. So do that before you go into some heavy strength training, and I guarantee you, you will be feeling better than you would have without it. Let me know what you think. See you soon.